Okay, let's dive into this. Welcome to today's Explainer, where we're embarking on a super fast-paced roundup of India's latest and, honestly, most exciting milestones from late July 2026. If you've been tracking the incredible developments happening across the country this summer, you already know that progress is happening on multiple fronts simultaneously. So today, we're going to visualize that progress, taking a journey through the data and the stories that are actively shaping the nation right now. Here is our game plan for today. We'll be jumping across 4 distinct pillars of national progress: wildlife conservation, green transport, sporting history, and finally, the rural economy. All right, Section 1, Wildlife Conservation. Now, before we reveal a massive ecological triumph, let's take a quick mental trip to the lush landscapes of Northeast India. Just a test of your geography. Where exactly is the Bornadi Wildlife Sanctuary located? If you guessed Assam, you nailed it. And this specific region has just been making huge headlines recently. Why? Well, recent camera trap evidence just confirmed something incredibly thrilling. We're talking about the return of the dhole, also known as the Asiatic wild dog, to this very sanctuary. The reappearance of an apex predator like the dhole is, literally the ultimate indicator of a thriving, recovering ecosystem. But to really appreciate this win, we've got to understand the geography of its home. Looking at the geographic puzzle pieces that make up the sanctuary, it sits perfectly tucked in the Udalguri and Baksa districts, right up against the absolutely breathtaking eastern Himalayan foothills. Crucially, it shares an international border with Bhutan, creating this vital ecological corridor. And if we look at the natural water boundaries, the sanctuary actually gets its name from the Bornadi River, framing its western edge, while the Nalapara River, which actually originates up in Bhutan, flows right along the eastern boundary. It's basically a perfectly bordered haven for the returning dhole. Okay, moving right along to Section 2, Green Transport. Let's shift gears from the eastern Himalayas straight to the heart of Uttar Pradesh. When it comes to a massive infrastructure shift on one of our most vital rivers, which UP city do you think just launched a pioneering electric boat pilot project? The answer is Varanasi. On July 23, 2026, the Varanasi Development Authority teamed up with GAIL India Limited to officially flag off a green inland water transport initiative right from Namoga on the Ganga River. And the scale of this, it's totally remarkable. I mean, this isn't just about updating a few boats. This is really about revolutionizing how millions of people experience the sacred river. So we're completely replacing those traditional diesel boats, you know the ones, loud, highly polluting, and just increasingly expensive for the local boatmen to run, with a quiet, eco-friendly future. The pilot project kicked off with 5 retrofitted passenger boats, essentially swapping out those clunky diesel engines for a modern 15-kilowatt electric outboard motor, paired with a 20-kilowatt-hour lithium battery pack. Just imagine gliding on the Ganga without the deafening roar of a diesel engine or that heavy smell of exhaust. It's a monumental upgrade for sure, both for the fragile river ecosystem and the passenger experience. But here's the real kicker. The crucial point here isn't just the environmental win. As great as that is, it's a massive economic one. These new electric boats are expected to reduce operating costs by up to a staggering 80% compared to the old diesel ones. I mean, for the local economy and the daily operators, being able to retain 80% of their fuel and maintenance costs, that is absolutely life-changing. All right, let's pivot to the international stage for Section 3, Sporting History. Let's cast our minds over to Glasgow and the recent women's 48-kilogram weightlifting event. Do you remember what medal Indian superstar Mirabai Chanu took home at the 2026 Commonwealth Games? It was gold. Absolutely incredible. But this wasn't just another win to casually add to the tally. This was a milestone victory that actually gave India its very first gold medal at the Glasgow 2026 Games. The achievement was so monumental that Prime Minister Narendra Modi publicly extended his congratulations to her right away. Her dominance in this sport is just undeniable at this point. By taking the top spot in Glasgow, she secured a historic 3rd consecutive Commonwealth Games gold medal. We are talking 2018, 2022, and now 2026. Maintaining that level of elite physical condition and laser-sharp mental focus over an 8-year span, that is nothing short of legendary. And just to ground her incredible legacy in some hard data for a second, she lifted this exact weight, 85 kilograms, to set a staggering new Commonwealth record in the snatch. Okay, bringing it back home for our final milestone, Section 4, Rural Economy. Let's test your knowledge of India's major poverty reduction frameworks for a second. The Startup Village Entrepreneurship Program, widely known as SVEP, is actually a sub-scheme of which larger national initiative? It actually falls under the umbrella of DNRLM, which stands for the Deen Dayal Antyodaya Yojana National Rural Livelihoods Mission. Now, this is a massive poverty reduction initiative that originally launched SSEVP back in 2016. Its core mission? To support self-help groups, or SHGs, and their families to set up small, non-farm businesses. The whole idea here is generating vital employment right within the villages, proving you don't necessarily have to migrate to some sprawling urban center just to build a successful enterprise. To really grasp the success of SVEP, we just have to look at the sheer scale of its impact. The government recently reported that by June of 2026, this single program had successfully supported over 4.32 lakh rural enterprises all across the country. Let that sink in. That is over 432,000 unique, non-farm businesses built from the ground up, actively reducing rural unemployment. But as we all know, setting up hundreds of thousands of businesses is one thing, keeping them alive is a whole different ballgame. So why does SVEP work? Because it goes far beyond just handing out a microloan. They provide a complete ecosystem of support. So yes, there is financial assistance, obviously, but they pair it with business management training so owners actually know how to scale. They provide soft skills development, vital institutional support, and ongoing business development services. It's a totally holistic approach, basically designed to ensure these small rural businesses don't just survive, but actively thrive in a really competitive market. Well, we've covered some incredible ground today. We've seen the Asiatic wild dog make a triumphant return to the foothills of Assam. We've watched Varanasi slash boat operating costs by 80% with clean energy. We celebrated a historic weightlifting hat trick in Glasgow. And we've seen grassroots economics empower nearly 500,000 village entrepreneurs. All of these distinct threads really weave together to tell the story of a nation moving rapidly forward. So I'll leave you with this. Looking at these massive, totally diverse leaps in progress, which of these milestones do you believe will shape India's future the most? Keep tracking these incredible developments and keep asking the big questions. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and I'll catch you next time.